how being unpredictable makes you more attractive as a high-value man. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. Do you find yourself constantly available, hoping that reliability alone will win their affection? Well, today's topic flips that script. Predictability may bring comfort, but it's tension and mystery that spark attraction. When they can predict your every move, interest fades, and your presence becomes just another convenience. But when you shift the dynamic, when they can't anticipate your every step, you become the mystery they crave, the puzzle they can't ignore. Today we'll dig into the art of unpredictability, why stepping outside their expectations ignites attraction and builds respect. Are you ready to break free from the pattern and let them wonder where they stand? If this resonates, like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I am unpredictable. Let's make this change together and unleash a version of yourself they can't resist. Now, let's dive into 7 ways being unpredictable boosts your value and draws them in deeper than ever. Number 1. You break patterns and force them to chase. If you're always the one making the plans, sending that good morning text, or keeping the conversation alive, this predictability, though well-intentioned, quickly becomes the killer of attraction. When someone knows exactly how you'll respond, they stop feeling that spark. Patterns numb the senses and turn what was once exciting into the mundane. As the stoic Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, meaning embrace the unexpected, even if it feels risky. By stepping out of these familiar patterns, you're not only creating mystery, but demonstrating control, the kind of emotional mastery that Stoic life lessons encourage. To reclaim their attention, start by subtly breaking those routines. Don't reach out first. Don't reply instantly. This small change, as straightforward as it sounds, shifts the dynamic. When they realize they can no longer predict your every move, they're thrown off balance. The moment they begin to question why you're not as available, you've won half the battle. It's human nature to crave novelty, and when you introduce this unpredictability, they start to notice you again, wondering what it is that's different. They're intrigued, captivated by what they now have to work for, because, after all, we value most what requires effort. In relationships where you're constantly reaching out, you become background noise, expected yet unappreciated. But once you step back, you create a tension, a space that makes them think, why aren't they reaching out? Did I do something? This pause, this silence, speaks louder than words. It's not about making them feel insecure, but about showing that your time and energy are valuable. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism aligns perfectly with attraction. Knowing when to hold back teaches others to appreciate your presence rather than take it for granted. It's the art of creating distance without losing connection, the subtle mastery that makes others see you as a high-value man. Now, if you're thinking, won't they just walk away if I pull back? Remember this. Do you really want someone who only stays because you're constantly reaching out, always pulling the weight? True value relationships are reciprocal. They meet you halfway. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So think about this. If you consistently offer your time freely, they stop respecting it. When you introduce unpredictability, you're saying, my energy is valuable, and it's something you must earn. Breaking these patterns takes courage, especially if you're used to being the one who keeps things going. But as you step back, something remarkable happens. They begin to reflect on what you brought to the table. They remember the consistency, the effort, and perhaps even the stability you offered. This reflection often leads to a newfound appreciation, an acknowledgement of the value you brought into their life. In this moment of reflection, they start questioning their own efforts, realizing perhaps they should have appreciated you more. This isn't about manipulation. It's about setting a standard. You're showing them and yourself that you won't be taken for granted. You're making it clear that being in your life is a privilege, not a right. When you break the cycle, you're not playing games. You're enforcing boundaries. You're demonstrating a sense of self-respect and self-worth values that Stoicism consistently upholds. A high-value man commands respect by respecting himself first, and sometimes that means pulling back to see who's willing to put in the effort to stay in your life. Breaking the pattern is just one step on this journey. When you let go of being the one who constantly gives, you shift the responsibility to them. They're now faced with a choice: meet you halfway or lose you. And this shift in dynamic is powerful. It's the beginning of a relationship where both sides contribute, where they work to keep you as much as you work to keep them. As Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." You're not giving endlessly. You're creating value in each interaction. This is your chance to take back control, to shift from chasing to being pursued. Now, stick with this. Resist the urge to fall back into familiar patterns, and watch how quickly the dynamic transforms when you take the reins of your own worth. Share your story, or simply type, "I am growing," if you're committed to using every moment to improve yourself. Let's keep this conversation going. I can't wait to hear your insights. Number 2. Become the puzzle they can't solve. When was the last time you were truly captivated by someone you thought you had all figured out? The thrill often fades the moment familiarity sets in. When they can predict what you'll say, how you'll respond, or even when you'll reach out next, you become part of their routine, a safe yet unexciting fixture in their life. There's something about predictability that, while comforting, lacks the tension that keeps desire alive. In a world where answers are often just a click away, being a puzzle that can't be easily solved, a mystery they continually wonder about, is the art of attraction itself. As we dig deeper into this, remember Epictetus's words: "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." This is the magic of unpredictability. It's not about causing chaos, but allowing just enough ambiguity that they are left to wonder, question, and analyze. It's the imagined possibilities, the what-ifs and why-nots, that hold power. Take relationships, for instance. Let's say you're beginning to know someone new. Initially, you're attentive, responding to messages, reaching out, and they're engaged. But soon enough, you might find the energy shift, their interest waning as they become accustomed to your presence. In your mind, consistency would win their favor, showing them that you're invested. But for them, the predictability becomes a comfort they know they can rely on, a certainty that dims the excitement. Now imagine pulling back. One day you're responsive and warm, the next you're not as available, leaving them guessing. Are they still on your mind? Did they do something wrong? This uncertainty is precisely the spark that rekindles their curiosity, making you a puzzle they can't ignore. Seneca once observed, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." It's this friction, this unpredictability, that creates attraction. It's the space between certainty and question that keeps people drawn in. Unpredictability doesn't mean erratic behavior. Instead, it's the balance of warmth and distance, attentiveness and mystery. It invites them to reflect on their actions, wondering if they've missed something, questioning their own part in the dynamic. This tension isn't just about keeping them intrigued, it's about reclaiming your power. You're showing that access to you isn't guaranteed, and that understanding you isn't a simple task to be completed in a few days or even weeks. Each unanswered question, each unexpected silence, becomes a reminder of your depth, the layers they've yet to uncover. So what does this mean for you? Embrace the role of the puzzle that takes time to understand, the mystery they can't solve at a glance. Ask yourself, how can you bring a hint of unpredictability into your life? Could stepping back create a space that others feel drawn to fill? In Stoic happiness, there's power in maintaining the balance between openness and mystery, revealing that attraction isn't found in the obvious but in the subtle interplay of connection and distance. As you embody this, remember that true strength lies in the unspoken words, the pauses that invite others to reflect, and the quiet resilience that keeps them captivated. If this resonates with you and you're eager to explore more about becoming unforgettable, make sure you're part of this journey by subscribing and turning on notifications. Here's to building intrigue, embracing Stoic happiness, and mastering the art of leaving just enough to the imagination. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need a reminder of the strength that comes from holding on to their dignity. Let's keep this conversation going and dive deeper into what it truly means to live by the principles of Stoicism. Number 3. Spark their fear of replacement. Every time you disappear or change up your patterns, something powerful stirs in their mind, a deep-seated fear that someone else might be stepping into the space they once thought was theirs. When you become unpredictable, you're no longer a guaranteed presence. Instead, you're a mystery, someone they're not entirely sure about. And what does the mind do when faced with uncertainty? It fills in the gaps, often in dramatic ways. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is where the Stoic mindset truly plays to your advantage. By holding your ground and remaining a high-value man with a sense of mystery, you tap into their imagination, making them wonder, what if they've moved on? What if someone else is now getting the attention I used to take for granted? Think about it when you're no longer available at their convenience. Their mind begins to spiral, fixating on the idea that you're out there living life on your own terms. This isn't just about making them miss you, it's about allowing them to feel the sting of possible replacement. They might find themselves glancing at your social media, analyzing your every post, wondering who's around you or what exciting experiences you're having without them. It creates a mental tension, a sense of anxiety that keeps them coming back for more, because in your absence, they're faced with a crucial realization. You're not waiting around, and that fear of replacement, that sense of loss, becomes an emotional hook they just can't shake. Have you ever thought about the impact of letting go of someone's expectations? When you no longer cater to their comfort, they begin to question everything. They might have felt secure before, but your unpredictability challenges that illusion. This is a critical element of dark psychology. People value what they think they might lose. When they sense that you're not dependent on their approval, they start to see you as more desirable, a true high-value man who doesn't compromise his self-respect. This is the essence of Win Stoic. It's about understanding human nature and leveraging the Stoic mindset to remain unattached to others' opinions. ultimately making them feel the depth of your worth. Now, here's a question to consider. What happens when you no longer need their validation? When you project an aura of self-sufficiency, it naturally draws others in because they sense that you don't seek approval. And that's what gives you power. You're not just withholding your attention, you're building an air of mystery that leaves them wondering what's going on in your life. They start to question, did they find someone else? Are they happier now? This quiet unpredictability makes them realize they can no longer take you for granted, prompting them to work harder to win back your interest. This is a key strategy for high-value men who wish to cultivate a stoic mindset in their relationships, allowing others to feel their absence deeply and sparking that primal fear of replacement. It's interesting how just creating a little distance can spark so much curiosity. Instead of being a predictable and available presence, you are now a rare event, and this scarcity becomes intoxicating. When you don't fully express your feelings or thoughts, they are left guessing, and that guessing game is what draws them closer. Remember, being stoic isn't about being emotionless. It's about being selective about when and to whom you reveal your value. This not only makes you more attractive, it also solidifies your role as someone worth remembering, someone whose time and attention are precious and rare. And ultimately, it's this delicate balance of detachment and mystery that allows you to navigate relationships as a high-value man with clarity and strength. If you want to aim for this value, comment below high-value man, and let's do it together. Number 4. Build a magnetic aura of self-respect. Building a magnetic aura of self-respect begins with how you perceive yourself, how you treat yourself, and the standards you set in every interaction. People often take cues from us on how to treat us, mirroring our own sense of self-worth. When you truly respect yourself, there's no need to shout your worth or seek validation. It's a quiet, steadfast force evident in the way you walk, speak, and carry yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once observed, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When those thoughts reflect unwavering self-respect, they emanate outward, creating a kind of magnetism that draws people to you naturally. This quiet confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about a grounded strength that says you know your worth without having to announce it. What is Stoicism if not the practice of embracing inner strength, letting go of the need for approval, and instead living in harmony with our own principles? To harness this self-respect, start by defining your boundaries and holding them firm. Every time you set a boundary or choose to prioritize your own standards, you're reinforcing your value not just to others, but to yourself. And it's powerful. It sends a clear message to the world about how you expect to be treated. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, posed a question that serves as a potent reminder of this choice. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? This doesn't mean you should demand perfection from others, but it does mean you owe yourself the best in terms of self-respect, of knowing and honoring your worth. There's a subtle shift that happens when you make this choice people notice, and they mirror the respect they see you giving yourself. Stoic life lessons teach us that the highest value lies in self-respect and in refusing to compromise on what we know is right for us. Consider moments in relationships when you might have overextended yourself, thinking that giving more would lead to being valued more. Yet often, the more we chase after acceptance, the more others pull away. True self-respect means recognizing when a relationship isn't serving you and being willing to walk away if necessary. This is how you cultivate a powerful aura, one that silently communicates that you're not to be taken lightly. When you value yourself enough to walk away from what doesn't honor you, others take note, not because you're seeking attention, but because they sense that you're anchored in your own standards. This isn't just theory. It's a deeply practical approach to life. In practical terms, creating this aura isn't only about saying no to what doesn't align with your values, but also wholeheartedly saying yes to the things that do. It's about crafting a life that reflects your own beliefs, not out of rebellion, but out of authenticity. As you do this, people are drawn to you, not because you're seeking their approval, but because you radiate an inner assurance that makes them want to be part of what you've built. When you hold yourself with respect, it's like holding a mirror up to others, inspiring them to treat you with that same respect. This is the essence of Stoic life lessons and a living testament to the power of self-respect. Moving through the world grounded in who you are, unshaken, not for the sake of impressing others, but because you've already impressed upon yourself what truly matters. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need a reminder of the strength that comes from holding on to their dignity. Let's keep this conversation going and dive deeper into what it truly means to live by the principles of Stoicism. Number 5. You redefine what it means to be present. Every time you make yourself consistently available, every yes you give and every predictable appearance, you're teaching people to see your presence as routine, as something ordinary. But here's the unvarnished truth. When you become too predictable, you lose the magnetic allure that high-value men embody. Just as you would stop marveling at a daily sunrise, people lose sight of you when they assume you'll always be there. The essence of what is Stoicism is found in maintaining a balance, a controlled unpredictability that leaves others curious, wondering about your next move. Presence isn't about filling every moment, it's about making the moments you do fill resonate, linger, and feel like rare gifts. Imagine a melody that plays without pause, nothing but constant sound. It's the silence between notes, the anticipation, that turns noise into music. Your presence works the same way. Predictability is noise, but rare, intentional appearances. That's music. You become unforgettable when you know how to space out your presence, to make each appearance feel like a breath of fresh air. But here's the hard part. Breaking the habit of being the one who always initiates, who always reaches out, who does all the heavy lifting emotionally. Attraction thrives on tension, on moments of suspense that create curiosity. When people can't predict when you'll show up, they'll find themselves eagerly waiting, thinking of you even in your absence. To shift your dynamic, start by embracing restraint. Reconsider that urge to text, to call, or to be the first to offer comfort. Ask yourself, does this act make you indispensable, or does it make you routine? When you hold back, when you resist the pull to always be available, you stir curiosity in a way that brings others closer. Like pulling back a slingshot, your absence gains power the longer you wait, and when you finally return, it will be on your terms, bringing impact and command, demanding respect and attention. This is the Stoic life lesson of intentional presence, giving meaning to each encounter instead of filling the void. Consider this. If you handed someone a gold coin every day, at first, they'd cherish each one. But soon enough, it would become routine, and they'd start expecting it, even disregarding it. But the day you stop, panic sets in, and suddenly, that gold coin becomes priceless once more. Your attention, your time, is that coin. Handed out too freely, it loses its value. When withheld intentionally, it becomes a rare gift. With each absence, you're teaching others to treasure what you bring. This journey won't be quick or easy. Every part of you will want to reach out, explain, and reassure. But that discomfort is where growth lives. True change doesn't happen overnight, and neither does your transformation into the high-value man others can't ignore. Stay with me on this path of self-mastery, where each step strengthens your worth and reveals a version of yourself that doesn't chase but attracts, doesn't give away freely but shares with purpose. This is the first step on a path that demands resilience and patience. You're becoming someone they can't take for granted, someone whose presence, when it appears, feels like a rare and unforgettable gift. The transformation won't feel easy, but stick with it. You're not just changing how others see you, you're changing how you see yourself. Comment with this affirmation to solidify your commitment. Your name: you are unpredictable. Let's see who's truly ready to own their power, to turn the tables, and to be the person everyone chases, but no one can predict. We're only just beginning, so commit to this journey. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments below and type, "I choose to stand firm," if you're committed to embracing your worth. Remember, in the journey of mastering Stoic life lessons, the key lies in knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Number 6. Force them to earn every interaction. When people have easy access to your time and energy, they begin to feel entitled to it, often without giving anything in return. It's like leaving your door open, signaling that anyone is infinitely welcome. The more accessible you are, the less they appreciate or even notice your presence. Marcus Aurelius, a guiding voice in Stoicism, once said, "The value of one's attention is measured by its scarcity." Think about that for a moment. The value of your attention isn't just about giving it. It's about creating a space where it has weight and meaning. If you consistently drop everything the moment someone calls, they'll see that as the norm, making each interaction feel mundane. But when you make yourself a little less available, the whole dynamic changes. Suddenly, they have to earn a spot on your schedule, and every interaction feels intentional. And isn't that exactly what Stoic happiness and Stoicism today emphasize? When you live with purpose, paying attention to what really matters. Now, think about your own relationships. If you're always the initiator, keeping the fire burning, what happens if you step back? When you're always there, ready to respond, it's easier for people to see you as a safety net than a priority. And while it's hard, when you step back, it teaches others that your presence is intentional, not something they can count on when they need it. At first, it may feel difficult, even lonely, as you're changing a dynamic you've maintained for so long. But it's this shift that creates real connection and respect. People who truly value you will step up. They'll notice your absence, sense it, and make an effort to close that gap themselves. If you find this relevant to you, comment below. Stop giving yourself comfort, and let's continue this journey. Number 7. Turn boredom into fascination. Why does fascination fade and attraction weaken when people fall into routines and expectations? The answer lies in the absence of intrigue, a key element in attraction that keeps relationships alive and thriving. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." If you desire to be someone who commands genuine attraction, someone who lives in alignment with what is Stoicism at its core, you must first shake off the mundane and adopt unpredictability as an art form, a way to inspire curiosity rather than routine. Imagine your interactions as episodes in a TV series, the ones filled with suspense, the ones that keep audiences guessing are the ones people eagerly binge-watch late into the night. When you bring that sense of intrigue into your own life, each interaction becomes more than just routine. It's a chance to create unforgettable moments. In a world where predictability is abundant, you have the unique power to stand out, to transform boredom into fascination by consciously choosing when and how you interact with others. Breaking free from patterns to ignite curiosity is an act of control that begins within. If every message or response is timed and predictable, the excitement fades. Familiarity can make others feel as though they've already figured you out. And let's face it, human nature is wired to yearn for discovery, to seek out newness. By being just a bit harder to read, you'll find that people naturally wonder, what's next? Start with subtle changes, respond at a different time, or say no when a yes is anticipated. By shifting your energy and responses unexpectedly, you create a dynamic of surprise, adding that touch of excitement people find irresistible. Think of it as establishing what Stoicism defines as emotional discipline. Rather than conforming to others' expectations, you act from your own inner resolve, turning yourself into a source of intrigue they want to unravel. Become their favorite series by introducing an element of suspense to each interaction. A successful series leaves viewers guessing, anticipating each plot twist, excited to see what comes next. Imagine adopting this approach. Each conversation with you is like a fresh episode, intriguing and compelling. And this is not about mind games or manipulation. Instead, it's about showcasing a rich, multifaceted self that isn't easy to categorize. It's about bringing spontaneity into your presence so that people feel captivated by the layers you reveal over time. As in Stoic life lessons, maintaining a calm, centered approach to your actions and words makes these changes authentic, enhancing the respect and mystery others feel toward you. By being a complex character in the lives of those around you, you draw them in and keep their attention in a world otherwise overwhelmed by predictability. Resisting the pull of familiar patterns might initially feel uncomfortable. It's tempting to fall back into old habits, to text back instantly, or plan meetups as you always have. But this is where practicing Stoic life lessons serves you well. Stoicism teaches us to master our impulses and cultivate behaviors that elevate our sense of self-worth. By maintaining a calm and measured approach, you add depth to your interactions. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words, and unexpected shifts in your focus reveal a fresh side of you. When others can't anticipate your next move, they stay captivated, lingering on thoughts of you in those quiet, unexpected moments. When you master this art, your presence becomes an experience, a form of adventure, something they can't quite pin down or control. By incorporating these simple yet profound Stoic life lessons into your daily actions, you make others realize they can't put you in a box. In doing so, you not only cultivate more meaningful connections, but also practice what is Stoicism in its most relatable form. This is the power of being the dynamic, unpredictable person who defies expectations not as a game, but as an honest reflection of a life lived with intention. So, as you break free from routine, watch how people respond to the mystery and depth you bring into their lives. In this video, we've explored how embracing unpredictability can heighten your appeal and influence, using insights from dark psychology to enhance your presence as a high-value man. When you are unpredictable, you capture attention and create a sense of intrigue, making your interactions more memorable and impactful. If these principles resonate with you, I encourage you to reflect on how you might incorporate them into your daily life for personal growth and fulfillment. Are there moments where adding a touch of unpredictability could elevate your relationships or confidence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Show your support by liking this video. 9 phrases smart men should not say to women. High-value men must watch. Stoic life lessons. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Winston Churchill. Smart men know that it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. One wrong phrase could shift the dynamic and turn interest into indifference. In today's video, we're diving into the 9 phrases that men should never say to women, especially if you want to maintain respect and attraction. By learning and applying these principles, you can elevate your interactions and boost your personal growth and happiness. Have you ever caught yourself saying something you later regretted? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn together. 1. Where shall we go? Engaging with women requires a deep understanding of not only what we say, but how we present ourselves. Men who embrace Stoic life lessons understand that composure, confidence, and clarity in their actions speak volumes. A key aspect of being a high-value man is to avoid phrases that unintentionally undermine your leadership or decisiveness. One such phrase is, "Where shall we go?" On the surface, it may seem like a polite question, but in reality, it can erode the image of certainty and confidence that a woman often seeks. Think of it this way. From a young age, many women grow up with an image of a decisive, take-charge man, a modern version of the prince on a white horse. When you ask her what she wants to do or where you should go, you unintentionally shift the burden of decision-making onto her shoulders. Marcus Aurelius, a well-known Stoic philosopher, once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The wisdom here lies in the call to embody the qualities we aspire to without hesitation or uncertainty. In this case, rather than asking her for a decision, inform her of the plans you've already made. Tell her you've bought movie tickets or reserved a table at a great restaurant. The decisive action not only makes her feel cherished, but also affirms your role as someone who knows what he wants, a key trait in Stoicism and modern high-value masculinity. By taking control of the situation, you reinforce the Stoic principle of maintaining authority over your own choices, while simultaneously relieving her of unnecessary pressure. Women, particularly in today's fast-paced world, appreciate men who exhibit leadership and foresight. This is not about dominating the conversation or disregarding her opinions, but rather about expressing decisiveness in a way that aligns with her desires for stability and confidence in a partner. In Stoicism, the focus is on what we can control, and in relationships, controlling the tone of interactions through careful, thoughtful leadership speaks to what Stoicism is all about: self-mastery. A woman who sees you as someone who can take the reins is more likely to trust and rely on you. In modern life, the principle remains the same. In a world where women are juggling careers, families, and personal aspirations, they don't want to be burdened with indecisive behavior, especially in romantic interactions. The world is chaotic enough, and a man who can make clear, confident decisions stands out as someone who is reliable and strong. Think about it when you're confident in your choices, whether that's in the boardroom or a personal relationship. You exude the stoic calm that Marcus Aurelius and Seneca talked about centuries ago. It's the hallmark of emotional resilience and the ability to navigate life's complexities without letting indecision weigh you down. So, next time you plan an evening or a day out, Don't fall into the trap of being overly deferential or unsure. Take charge. In doing so, not only will you heighten her sense of security and admiration, but you'll also embody the stoic virtue of courage, acting with confidence in the face of uncertainty. For the modern man, learning Stoicism helps in all areas of life. It teaches us to be assertive, not just with women, but in all our actions. As Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, meaning that while we should value her opinion, we must lead with purpose. The ability to take thoughtful, decisive action is what separates a high-value man from those who let life happen to them. So ditch the "where are we going?" question and embrace the assertiveness that shows you are a man who knows how to lead. If you've learned this secret, comment below, "I am a high-value man," so we can all attract the best. 2. It's up to you. One of the common mistakes smart men make is saying, "It's up to you." At first glance, this might seem like you're being considerate, but in reality, what you're doing is shifting the responsibility of decision-making onto her. This can easily come across as indecisive, which isn't a quality that high-value men should project. You see, when you're unsure or overly accommodating, it sends a message that you lack direction or clarity. And while it's perfectly okay to ask for her opinion, there's a right way to do it, a way that shows you're still leading the situation. Let's break it down. Instead of saying, "It's up to you," which gives the impression that you're either not sure of yourself or don't care enough to make a decision, try something more assertive, like, "I heard there's a new ice rink that just opened nearby. I'm planning to go there this Saturday. What do you think? Will you come with me?" Notice the difference? In this version, you've already made a decision, you've taken initiative, and you're inviting her into the plan. You're seeking her input, but the foundation of the decision has already been laid. Think about it in terms of stoic happiness. Being firm in your decisions and values is crucial not only for your own peace of mind, but also for the way others perceive you. Women, especially, appreciate men who know what they want and have the confidence to pursue it. This approach makes you come across as assertive, someone who has a vision and is simply inviting her to join you in it. When you say, "What do you think about that?" in the right context, it's not about giving up control, but about mutual respect and engagement, which is a much stronger position. Now, let me tell you a story about a friend of mine, Jack, who used to fall into this exact trap. He was a kind, intelligent guy, but when it came to making plans, he would always say, "It's up to you," when talking to his girlfriend. He thought he was being accommodating, but she started feeling like he wasn't invested in their relationship decisions. There was one time they planned a trip, and instead of taking charge and suggesting where to go, Jack kept saying, "Whatever you want." It got to the point where she felt like he wasn't interested, and she eventually grew distant. One day he finally realized that what she wanted wasn't to control everything, but to feel like they were in it together, that he had a vision for their time together. He switched it up, started saying things like, "I found this cool place I think we'd both love. Let's go." And just like that, their dynamic improved. She felt more secure, and he felt more confident. The takeaway here is this: people respect decisiveness because it shows strength of character, and as a Stoic, that strength is essential. Stoicism today teaches us to remain grounded and steadfast in our choices, understanding that while we can control our actions, we cannot control the outcome or the reactions of others. When you make a decision and stick by it, you're aligning yourself with this philosophy, and that brings a sense of inner tranquility and stoic happiness. Have you ever noticed how attractive it is when someone is confident in their choices? It's not about being inflexible, it's about being self-assured. So ask yourself, how often have you caught yourself deferring decisions to someone else, thinking it was the right thing to do? And what kind of message do you think that sends? The lesson here is clear. High-value men who practice stoicism and self-awareness don't shy away from making decisions. They make the call, communicate it with clarity, and invite others to join them on their path. This way, you're not just showing confidence, you're living it. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. 3. I want you. When it comes to navigating relationships as a high-value man, understanding what to say and what not to say is crucial. One of the phrases you should handle carefully is, "I want you." Now, this can be a powerful phrase when used in the right context. Picture this. You're both deeply in the moment. There's already mutual excitement, and you're heading to the bedroom. In that scenario, saying, "I want you," can amplify the connection and heighten the intimacy. It's the kind of phrase that, when shared during a moment of passion, enhances the romantic and physical chemistry between you two. Or maybe she sends you an intimate photo while you're away, and you respond with, "I want you." It can keep the romantic spark alive even across distances. But here's the key. Timing and context are everything. However, as a man who embodies the Stoic mindset and is striving to be a high-value individual, it's essential to recognize when not to use this phrase. If you're in the middle of a relationship crisis where there's tension or emotional distance, throwing out, "I want you," can come across as desperate. You're no longer building attraction, you're begging for validation, which is a position of weakness. Women are deeply intuitive. They sense neediness instantly, and as Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." This applies to relationships too. If she's avoiding intimacy, saying this line won't change her mind, and in fact, it may push her further away. Women are wired to value emotional intimacy first, and physical connection flows naturally from that. If you rush into the physical without addressing the emotional, you're missing the mark. Even worse is using this phrase too early on a first date, for example. Imagine saying, "I want you," before you've even established a connection, or before there's been any real physical chemistry. What message are you sending? It signals that you're focused purely on the physical, and worse, that you lack patience, confidence, and self-control. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A high-value man exercises restraint and knows how to build tension without rushing into things. So when should you use this phrase? Only when the attraction is already there, when you are both emotionally and physically in sync. That's when it adds fuel to the fire, rather than becoming a forced attempt to force a moment. A confident, resilient man knows how to read the situation and understands that true attraction is not something you can demand or force, but something that grows naturally from emotional connection and mutual respect. Furthermore, by holding back and not overusing phrases like "I want you," you demonstrate confidence and patience, qualities that women find irresistible in a high-value man. Comment below, "I am confident and patient," to show your commitment to the journey of a high-value man. 4. Did you finish? Every man wants to present himself as confident, composed and aware in his interactions with women. However, certain words or phrases can subtly undermine your intentions and erode the connection you've built. In the world of high-value men, mastering communication is key. Today, we're diving into 9 phrases smart men should never say to women if they want to maintain respect, attraction, and emotional connection. These insights come straight from Stoic life lessons and will transform the way you approach communication, not just with women, but in all aspects of life. Did you finish? This phrase can leave a woman feeling disconnected, as though her pleasure is an afterthought. It's a question that instantly introduces doubt and undermines the shared intimacy of the moment. She may start questioning your intentions. Why is he rushing? Why is he not fully present? Marcus Aurelius once said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." This is a reminder that presence and awareness are crucial in any interaction, especially in intimate moments. In Stoicism, we talk about mindfulness being fully engaged in the present, not allowing distractions or impatience to cloud the experience. Asking, "Did you finish?" suggests that you're not entirely in the moment, and it places pressure on her, which can lead to dissatisfaction. Instead, a high-value man should focus on being present, enjoying the process without rushing to the end. This reflects Stoic life lessons, patience and control of your mind, resisting the urge to hastily seek closure when the experience itself is what should be savored. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions are constant and attention spans are shrinking, it's easy to fall into the trap of impatience. But high-value men, those who practice Stoicism, understand that meaningful experiences come from fully immersing yourself in the now, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your intimate moments. When you rush through life, you miss the richness of it. Just as the Stoics teach us to detach from the outcome and focus on the process, the same principle applies here. What is Stoicism if not the ability to stay composed, measured and mindful in every moment? By asking this question, you are inadvertently showing a lack of awareness, not only of her feelings, but also of your own emotional discipline. A Stoic man practices self-control, both in speech and action. There's no need to hurry to the finish line, especially in matters that require emotional connection. Instead of focusing on the end goal, focus on the journey itself. A wise man once said, "True power is in restraint, not haste." This is a lesson that carries over to how you manage all relationships in life. The ability to be patient, to listen, and to engage with care is what sets high-value men apart from those who are easily swept up by their desires. In modern life, we're often pushed to speed through everything: work, relationships, even our personal development. But remember, true fulfillment isn't found in the speed at which you achieve something, but in the depth of your experience along the way. The next time you're tempted to ask, "Did you finish?" pause, breathe, and remind yourself of the Stoic lesson that mastery comes from patience and presence. Refrain from rushing any process, especially one as delicate as emotional or physical intimacy. This is where high-value men distinguish themselves, by being attuned to the moment and understanding that their role isn't just about performance, but about creating a shared, meaningful connection. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. 5. I missed you. When it comes to relationships, what you say can significantly influence how you're perceived, and for high-value men, it's essential to project strength, confidence, and emotional control, key elements of Stoic happiness and Stoicism today. A phrase like, "I missed you," may seem harmless, even affectionate, but when used by a man, it can sometimes send the wrong message. Women often use phrases like this because it allows them to express vulnerability, drawing out a protective instinct in their partners. Phrases like, "I missed you," "I'm confused," or "I don't know what to do," can make a woman seem more feminine and appealing because they invite a man to step in and offer strength, security, or guidance. However, when a man uses the same language, it risks making him appear emotionally dependent or even childlike, potentially diminishing the attraction a woman feels for him. No woman wants to feel like she's stepping into a motherly role in her romantic relationship. Now, this doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions or play cold, far from it. Being stoic doesn't mean being emotionally detached. It's about channeling your emotions with strength and clarity. You can certainly acknowledge your feelings, but it's how you present them that makes all the difference. For example, if a woman asks, "Did you miss me?" a straightforward, "Yes, I did," can be enough. It conveys your feelings without veering into neediness or making the conversation about your emotional void. But if you take it further, "I missed you so much, I was sad without you," it could come off as clingy or immature. Women, especially those looking for strong, reliable partners, are more attracted to men who exude calm, control, and a sense of purpose. They want to be with someone they can lean on, not someone who leans too heavily on them. Consider this story from modern life. A friend of mine, Tom, was dating someone he really cared about. Things were going well, but after a couple of weeks apart, he found himself constantly telling her how much he missed her, texting her every few hours with the same message. At first, she responded warmly, but soon she started pulling away. When he asked her what had changed, she admitted that his behavior was making him seem overly needy, almost as if he couldn't function without her around. Tom thought he was being honest and open, but in reality he was placing emotional responsibility on her, which made her feel burdened. The lesson: emotional dependence can quickly become a turn-off, even when it's coming from a place of genuine affection. So, what should you do instead? Ask yourself this: are you saying something to express genuine feelings, or are you seeking validation or reassurance from the other person? High-value men understand the importance of emotional independence, a cornerstone of Stoic happiness. They don't rely on others to fill their emotional gaps. It's okay to miss someone, but it's essential to maintain your own sense of self-sufficiency and confidence in their absence. This is where Stoicism today can guide us by teaching us to manage our desires and expectations in a healthy way. The key message here is that as a man who seeks to be high value, you should strive to avoid phrases that paint you as dependent or emotionally fragile. Women are attracted to strength, not just physical strength, but emotional strength. So, instead of constantly verbalizing your need for someone, focus on showing it through your actions. Be the man who can stand on his own, but who also chooses to be with someone because they add value to his life, not because he needs them to fill a void. This balance is what creates Stoic happiness in relationships: independence coupled with a shared journey. Comment "I agree" if you resonate with this perspective, or "I don't think so" if you have a different opinion. 6. Sorry. When it comes to relationships, one phrase that smart men should be careful with is sorry. Apologizing unnecessarily, especially when it's not your fault, can weaken your position and diminish your respect in a relationship. In fact, constantly saying sorry when it's not warranted can be seen as a sign of insecurity or a lack of confidence, two things that high-value men should strive to avoid. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And part of being a strong, high-value man is standing firm in your truth. Apologizing should be reserved for those moments when you genuinely make a mistake, but even then, once is enough. If you've apologized already and your partner keeps bringing up the past, it's often a way to manipulate your guilt and put you in a submissive position. Think of it as an emotional trap that many women sometimes unknowingly use to regain control or win an argument. They might say something like, "Do you remember how you called me dumb last year?" even though you've apologized for it 10 times before. Does this sound familiar? And how do you usually respond? Instead of falling into this cycle, take a different approach. Respond calmly but assertively with something like, "We've already discussed this before. Let's not dwell on things that happened a long time ago." This shows that you acknowledge her feelings but are unwilling to be held captive by past mistakes. By doing this, you're not only setting healthy boundaries, but you're also demonstrating emotional maturity, a key component of the stoic mindset. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can and let go of what we can't. You can't change the past, but you can control how you react to it in the present. Do you see how this aligns with your personal values as a high-value man, and how it can keep your emotions grounded in tough situations? As a high-value man who practices the stoic mindset, you should be aware of how easily guilt can be used as a tool to destabilize your emotions. Guilt, when misplaced, is like a weight that keeps you tied to the past, preventing you from moving forward with clarity. The philosopher Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And being brave in your relationship means having the courage to face conflict without letting your emotions be swayed by manipulative tactics. Being firm but fair means addressing issues in the present without letting your partner continually dig up the past. Ask yourself this: how many times have you apologized for something you've already discussed just to keep the peace? Is it truly effective, or does it just lead to more resentment and a power imbalance in the relationship? Think about it. Apologizing excessively can shift the dynamic, putting you in a position where your actions are constantly questioned. High-value men don't let guilt control their decisions or actions. They take responsibility when necessary, but they also know when enough is enough. Maintaining your sense of self-respect is key. In fact, win stoic as a mindset isn't about winning arguments or always being right. It's about mastering your emotions and not letting them control you. So, next time you're tempted to apologize for something you've already addressed, remember, one apology is enough. Beyond that, you're simply feeding into a cycle that can damage the relationship more than it helps. Stay grounded, stay firm, and remember what it means to be a high-value man with a stoic mindset. How will you choose to navigate these situations going forward? Will you let guilt dictate your responses, or will you stand firm in your self-worth and emotional control, setting boundaries that reflect your values? The choice is yours. If you find these insights helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to explore the profound influence of Stoicism together. 7. I've never met someone like you before. When it comes to mastering the art of communication with women, there's a fine line between sincere compliments and saying things that can unintentionally undermine your value. Today we're diving into a critical aspect of this: the power of words. Many men don't realize that the phrases they use can either elevate them or lower their standing in the eyes of a woman. As Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This quote from Stoicism reminds us that thoughtful communication is key, especially when trying to build a meaningful relationship. In this discussion on Stoic life lessons, we'll uncover one of the phrases smart, high-value men should avoid. "I've never met someone like you before." It may sound harmless, even flattering, but let's break down why you should think twice before saying this. At first glance, telling a woman you've never met anyone like her might seem like a heartfelt way to show your admiration. However, this phrase can easily backfire because it raises unspoken questions. Who have you been with before? Why are you so amazed? Are you exaggerating? This kind of statement can make her question your past relationships and wonder if your standards have been too low or your experiences too shallow. High-value men don't need to exaggerate a woman's uniqueness to win her favor. Stoicism teaches us to value moderation, and in this case, it's about striking a balance in how we express admiration. When you're too focused on emphasizing her uniqueness, you unintentionally shift the power dynamic, placing her on a pedestal while devaluing yourself. Instead of using sweeping, grandiose compliments, aim for something more grounded. For instance, saying, "Your new pants really emphasize your athletic figure," is simple yet effective. It acknowledges her effort and appearance without overinflating the praise. Compare that to, "I've never met a woman with such elegant taste and a gorgeous figure. I'm lucky you agreed to date me." In the latter, you elevate her status so much that you degrade your own. Suddenly, she's the queen and you're the servant. High-value men don't beg for validation in this way. A stoic man remains composed and confident, never letting his words tip the balance too far in either direction. One key principle of Stoicism is control over your reactions and emotions, and this applies to how we communicate in relationships. If you constantly shower a woman with compliments, she may start feeling that your attention is overbearing or even insincere. Being obsessed with someone isn't healthy, and Stoicism teaches us to maintain a sense of balance in all things. A smart man knows when to show affection and when to hold back, allowing a relationship to grow naturally without overwhelming the other person. Excessive praise, just like excessive attention, can become suffocating. In modern life, we often mistake obsession for love, but true emotional resilience comes from understanding that love thrives on mutual respect, not imbalance. By maintaining moderation in your compliments and emotions, you show that you're a man of high value and self-assurance. This aligns with the Stoic principle of self-control, where you focus not on external validation, but on your internal worth. So, the next time you're tempted to say, "I've never met someone like you," take a step back and ask yourself, am I saying this to genuinely express admiration, or am I trying to win approval? High-value men must always be mindful of their words, for they have the power to either build or erode their standing in a relationship. Stay grounded, stay confident, and remember that true love and respect are built on balance, not on the pedestal you place someone on. Share your experiences or simply type "Stoic happiness" in the comments to let us know you're on this journey with us. Your insights are what keep this community thriving, and together we can continue to explore how Stoicism today shapes our lives in meaningful ways. 8. How was your day? Asking, "How was your day?" can be seen as a thoughtful, caring gesture when done with intention and in the right context. If your partner is someone who deeply values your attention and appreciates when you show genuine interest, this question can create a moment of connection. However, repeating this phrase daily without any real depth or curiosity turns it into a robotic, predictable routine. People, especially women, appreciate novelty and substance in their conversations, and falling into a habit of asking the same dull questions can make you seem uninspired. It's easy to understand why I imagine coming home from a long day and being asked the same generic question every day. You might answer at first, but eventually you'll find yourself rolling your eyes and feeling disconnected. This is especially true when the energy in your relationship feels off, or she's clearly distant, and you try to fill the silence with shallow questions. Instead of drawing her closer, it pushes her away because it highlights the lack of genuine engagement. You must recognize these moments and shift your approach. When communication feels strained, don't resort to "How was your day?" to try to break the ice. It may seem lazy or even worse, annoying, as it implies you're just going through the motions. Take a step back and consider this. When was the last time you asked her something that truly piqued her interest? Something that made her feel like you were paying attention to what's important in her life, rather than just checking a box in the conversation. High-value men know that connecting with someone means being present and aware of what truly matters to the other person. It's not about asking repetitive questions for the sake of politeness. Instead, show that you understand the ebbs and flows of life, and you're aware when she needs space or when she's yearning for deeper connection. I remember a story of a friend who always felt distant in his relationship, constantly repeating the "How was your day?" line. It wasn't until he noticed her excitement about a particular project she was working on that he shifted gears. Instead of the generic question, he began asking specific things about that project, like what challenges she was facing or what success made her proud. It completely changed their dynamic. She felt understood, seen, and heard something every partner values. This is where Stoicism today teaches us the importance of being mindful and intentional in our actions. In this case, understanding that your words carry meaning and impact beyond the surface is crucial. Conversations should add value, not subtract from the bond you're trying to build. So, the next time you're tempted to ask, "How was your day?" pause and ask yourself, what can I ask instead that will create a meaningful exchange? What will bring us closer rather than widen the gap? The path to stoic happiness lies in understanding that life is too short for shallow interactions, and high-value men strive to create connections that resonate on a deeper level. They are deliberate, thoughtful, and present in their relationships. The lesson here is simple. Don't fall into conversational traps that dull the relationship. Keep it fresh, keep it thoughtful, and remember that sometimes silence is better than a question that doesn't mean much. So, what could you ask next that could spark a deeper connection with her? 9. I'll pay for everything. When you say, "I'll pay for everything," you need to tread carefully, whether it's on a first date or even in a serious relationship. At the beginning of any romance, you're still exploring each other's boundaries, and offering to cover all the expenses right off the bat can set an unintended precedent. Suddenly, you've become the sponsor rather than a partner. In a serious relationship, constantly saying this phrase can lead to bigger issues. A woman may begin to expect your financial support and take it for granted, thinking, "He earns good money, so why shouldn't he pay for everything?" It's nothing special. The sad reality is that your financial investments, though well-intentioned, lose their value in her eyes. She stops appreciating them, which can cause imbalances in the relationship. There's a famous story that illustrates this. A young woman accused her boyfriend of ruining her chances of building a career because he always paid for everything. This warped sense of dependency left her feeling like she had no role in her financial future. Does this mean that if you earn more than your partner, you should split everything 50-50? Of course not. But the key is balance and contribution from both sides. Even if you make 5 times more than her, there's nothing wrong with her occasionally contributing to shared expenses. If you spend $5, perhaps she spends $1, adjusted proportionately to her income. That way, both of you are making financial contributions, and neither of you is carrying the entire burden alone. The Stoic mindset teaches us the importance of balance and self-sufficiency, and this applies directly to relationships. High-value men who carry themselves with confidence and a sense of purpose understand that a healthy relationship involves mutual respect and contribution. As Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. If you constantly foot the bill, it's not just about money, it's about fostering a dynamic where one person is more reliant on the other, and that can lead to a loss of autonomy. Is that truly what you want? Shouldn't a relationship be built on mutual respect, where both partners feel they're equally invested in more than just material ways? A key part of mastering the Stoic life lessons and adopting a win-Stoic approach is recognizing when to lead and when to share responsibility. Financial imbalance can breed resentment and, even worse, entitlement. So, next time you're faced with the question of who pays, ask yourself, what kind of relationship are you building? Are you unknowingly encouraging her to lean on you more than she should, or are you empowering both of you to grow and contribute equally? High-value men know that true respect comes from being valued for who you are, not just for what you can provide. You deserve a partner who sees your worth beyond your wallet, and she deserves the chance to stand on her own 2 feet. As we wrap up this video, remember that the way we communicate can have a profound impact on our relationships. The phrases we've discussed today highlight how important it is to approach conversations with respect and understanding. Smart men know that being mindful of their words fosters stronger, healthier connections. By applying these principles, not only will you avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, but you will also create a more positive and fulfilling dynamic with the women in your life. What phrases do you think men should avoid in relationships? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that empowers you on your journey of growth and happiness. See you next time.